The time has come for me to unveil my final predictions for what will win at this Sunday's Academy Awards. I'm actually really excited for this one because normally by this stage in the race we have a fairly good idea of, how pretty much every category is going to go. But this year there's still loads of wide open races even with, less than a week to go. So I'm really excited. It's going to make for a much more interesting show than usual. I'm going to be telling you what I think will win in each category, what I think should win, and probably throwing in a few snubbed titles that I think were also worthy of consideration, but unfortunately didn't make the final list. So, let's see what's in store. Let's kick things off with Best Picture. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. And my predicted winner is Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's pretty crazy that we live in a world where this bonkers and totally non-Oscar-y movie is the clear frontrunner for Best Picture, but there's just nothing else. But this movie has won PGA, SAG, WGA, and DGA. You know, the other four movies to pull off that combo, they were American Beauty, No Country for Old Men, Slumdog Millionaire, and Argo. You know what else those four have in common? They all went on to win Best Picture. It's basic logic. Like, if you pull off a Guild sweep like that, of course you're the frontrunner for Best Picture by a wide margin, especially when there's no clear number two to potentially challenge you. I mean, okay, All Quiet on the Western Front won the BAFTA, but that wasn't up for PGA, so I really don't see that winning Best Picture. That would be unprecedented. Some people are talking about Top Gun Maverick, but that hasn't won anything major, so, what are you basing that on? And then I guess there's Banshees of Inisherin, which I'm not going to say it couldn't happen, but it's looking increasingly unlikely with each passing day. I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's won everything that it needs to. So yeah, it's the frontrunner. And as for what should win, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was my favorite movie of the year. Of course, I'm thrilled to see this as the frontrunner. But shout out to Aftersun, which absolutely should have been nominated. That movie is a masterpiece, and it should have been nominated. It deserved so much better. I'm glad Paul Mescal got nominated, but it deserved so much more. Best Director. The nominees are Todd Field for Tar, Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, and Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once. My prediction, again, is Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I know people were kind of talking at the start of the season about how there could be a sentimental vote for Spielberg, because it's such a personal project for him, and, everyone loves him, obviously. But he hasn't won anything since the Globes. I think the heat has really died there. The Daniels won DGA, so, that's major. And they also won Critics' Choice, which I know doesn't have any overlap in terms of voter membership, but still, it's not nothing. And the Daniels didn't win the BAFTA, but Edward Berger won there, and he's not nominated for the Oscars, so, that doesn't mean anything. And again, my personal pick is the Daniels. I absolutely love that they're the frontrunners, and it would be thrilling to see them win. As for who should have been nominated, well, obviously Charlotte Wells, I would have loved to see get in here. Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave. That movie getting no nominations is a real shame. Would have been cool to see an international push for SS Rajamouli for RRR, but that was always a long shot, so, But, hey, the Daniels are most likely winning, and I'm cool with that. Best Actor. Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Paul Mescal for Aftersun, and Bill Nighy for Living. This is a toss-up between Brendan Fraser and Austin Butler. Fraser won SAG, Butler won BAFTA. Those are two very reliable indicators of who's going to win Best Actor, and they disagreed. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going with Austin Butler, because he's in a Best Picture nominee, and the last time somebody won Best Actor for a film that wasn't up for Best Picture was Jeff Bridges for Crazy Heart. And that was way back in 2009, so... I think it should be Paul Mescal. He would get my vote, but that's not going to happen. Early on in the season, I was also kind of hoping, well, maybe Colin Farrell can win the BAFTA and then he'll pull in Olivia Colman and manage a surprise win at the last minute. But he didn't win the BAFTA, so that's not going to happen. I've given up hope there. Would have liked to see Park Hae-il nominated for Decision to Leave. I think the Academy could nominate foreign language performances more often than they do. But, you know, that's just something they'll have to work on in the future. But yeah, I think it's probably going to be Austin Butler. For Best Actress, we have Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm predicting Blanchett, but watch out for Yeoh. I mean, Blanchett won most of the precursors, but Yeoh won SAG, and that's not insignificant. That definitely makes her a challenger. And there are a lot of people who would love to see her win because she's been around for a long time and, you know, she hasn't really gotten the flowers that she deserves until now, even though she's been reliably great in everything that she's in. Definitely watch out for her, but I'm gonna play it safe and predict Blanchett. My personal choice, honestly, I don't really mind if it's Blanchett or Yeoh. I mean, I guess, gun to my head, my personal choice would be Blanchett, just based on how much I liked the performance, but I would love to see Yeoh win as well. That would be a great win, absolutely. Either one of them would be great. This is kind of a no-losers situation. And as for who should have been nominated, I could stay on the Aftersun train and throw Frankie Corio's hat into the ring. I liked Margot Robbie in Babylon. There's no one performance here that's really jumping out to me as like, oh yeah, like how is that not nominated? You know, I guess there's also Catherine Clinch in The Quiet Girl. She was great, even though she was definitely never going to be nominated. That would have been way out of left field. But yeah, I'm predicting Blanchett with the caveat that you should definitely watch out for Yeoh. Best Supporting Actor. Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan, The Banshees of Inisherin, Ke Huy Quan, Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is an easy one. It's Ke Huy Quan. It's Ke Huy Quan. There's just... easily. You know, I mean, Barry Keoghan won the BAFTA, but they were going all in on Banshees of Inisherin for the most part. Ke Huy Quan has won everywhere else, and Ke Huy Quan has the narrative. Like, he has the same thing going for him that Troy Kotsur had going for him last year, which is that he's an incredibly likable person, and people want to see him succeed because he was denied success by the Hollywood system for so long. You know, like when he's going to get up on that stage, he's going to make a really emotional speech, people are going to cry, people are going to share it on Twitter, it's going to be great. People want to see this happen, plus he was fantastic in the movie, you know? So yeah, Ke Huy Quan is going to win. And he is also my personal choice. I'm absolutely rooting for the guy. There's a lot of great performances in this lineup, but he gets my vote. Who should have been nominated? You know, honestly, I think Paul Dano should have been nominated for The Fabelmans over Judd Hirsch. Judd Hirsch is good in, like, the one scene that he's in, but Dano was the performance that stuck with me the most out of that movie. Like, and plus... why hasn't he been nominated yet? He's a great actor. He should have been nominated ages ago. And this was the perfect opportunity to rectify all those snubs, and they didn't take it. You know, what's up with that? Supporting Actress. Angela Bassett, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hong Chau, The Whale, Kerry Condon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Stephanie Hsu, Everything Everywhere All at Once. This race is starting to remind me of the 2015 Best Supporting Actor race, where everyone kind of thought Sylvester Stallone was the frontrunner because he was in a populist movie and he won Critics' Choice and Golden Globe. But the Oscar went to Mark Rylance, who only had the BAFTA going for him up to that point. I think the same thing is going to happen this year. People think it's going to be Angela Bassett because of the career narrative and everything, and, you know, again, she won Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, but she hasn't won SAG or BAFTA. SAG went to Jamie Lee Curtis, BAFTA went to Kerry Condon, and between those two, I think Kerry Condon is the more likely one to win. And I certainly hope it's Kerry Condon because she is also my pick out of these five. So yeah, predicting Kerry Condon and also would vote for Kerry Condon. As for who should have been nominated but wasn't, Dolly DeLeon in Triangle of Sadness, I think, you could have made room for her in there. It's especially weird that she didn't get in because the film is up for picture and director and screenplay, so obviously they liked it. Like, why didn't they throw her a bone? And also, this was never going to happen, but I would have loved if Rachel Sennett had gotten nominated for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. That would have been such an inspired pick. She was so great in that. But again, it was never going to happen. Best Original Screenplay. The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Triangle of Sadness. It's either going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once or The Banshees of Inisherin. I'm predicting Everything Everywhere All at Once because I'm predicting that to win Best Picture, and it just kind of makes sense. But definitely watch out for Banshees. And honestly, I'd be fine with either of them winning. I honestly don't mind which one it is. As for what should have been nominated, I guess here I'll throw in some love for Nope. I've really come to appreciate that movie a lot more since I first saw it, especially the screenplay. So yeah, that would be my snubbed pick. But yeah, I'm predicting Everything Everywhere All at Once. Adapted Screenplay. All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, Top Gun Maverick, Women Talking. I will be fine with any of these 5 as long as it's not Top Gun Maverick. But anyway, for what I think will win, I'm going All Quiet on the Western Front. I know Women Talking won the Writers Guild Award, but I just feel like voters have shown more enthusiasm for All Quiet on the Western Front than they have for Women Talking overall, so I think that's definitely gonna show here. But my personal vote would go to Women Talking. I mean, I liked All Quiet on the Western Front, but I wouldn't vote for it here. I thought Women Talking is a much better screenplay. And, maybe it will win. Like I said, it did win Writers Guild, so it definitely isn't going in here with nothing, but I'm predicting All Quiet on the Western Front. As for what should have been nominated, look, Quiet Girl was always going to be a long shot here, but that would have been nice. I guess the Batman as well, that would have been not undeserved as a nomination. I certainly would have preferred it to fucking Top Gun, but whatever. Animated feature. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, Turning Red. This is gonna go to Pinocchio. That's pretty much set in stone at this point. It's won everywhere. As for my personal vote, I don't really mind what wins here. I saw 4 of the 5 nominees and liked the 4 that I saw. The only one I didn't see was The Sea Beast. Obviously, I loved Guillermo del Toro, so I would very much like for him to win and go up and make a big, passionate speech about how animation is being disrespected, and I will cheer him on from the couch. Marcel was really cute, though, and Puss in Boots I really liked. Turning Red was very good, but Pixar has enough wins in this category. It would be kind of hard to get that enthusiastic for yet another Disney or Pixar win, so preferably one of the other ones. But yeah, it's going to be Pinocchio. In terms of what should have been nominated, I don't know if this counted because I know some people are counting it as a TV series for some reason, but that movie, The House on Netflix, that stop motion thing from the start of the year, I thought that was really cool. Again, not sure if it was eligible, but I think it should have been. But yeah, Pinocchio is going to win. That's not up for debate at this point. Documentary feature. All That Breeds, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. I didn't get to see any of these yet, so I can't really say much about them, but I think it's going to be Navalny because, for one thing, it's been winning a lot lately, and also it would be, very timely as a fuck you to Putin. Yeah. I did see Moon Age Daydream, which wasn't nominated but should have been, so that definitely gets my should have been nominated vote. But again, I didn't get to see any of these 5 yet, so I can't say which one is my personal pick. But I do think that Navalny will win for, its political timeliness, and I'm sure it's very good. International feature film. All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina 1985, Close, EO, The Quiet Girl. I want The Quiet Girl to win. I'm Irish, of course I have a stake in this, and also it's my favorite of the nominees that I've seen. But it's going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. That's That's just a fact. All Quiet on the Western Front is the only one of these five that's also up for Best Picture, so logically, of course it's gonna win. For Quiet Girl, the nomination is the win. Like, we can celebrate the nomination as a country, but it's not going to win. It's gonna be All Quiet. I'm just preparing you for disappointment if you're Irish. As for what should have been nominated, Decision to Leave. Like, what does Park Chan-wook have to do to get some respect from the Academy? How has he never been nominated, and how was this movie not nominated? It's crazy. Original score, All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans. I'm gonna predict Babylon because... I mean, I don't necessarily have that much of a compelling reason to predict it. I guess it did win the Golden Globe, but, like, didn't win Critics' Choice, didn't win the BAFTA. I guess my brain kind of tells me that maybe I should be predicting All Quiet on the Western Front, but I don't know, Babylon is the only one of these scores that has any real passion behind it from, like, people who are watching the Oscars and everything, and I feel like that's not nothing. Like, no, All Quiet on the Western Front has a fine score, but nobody's really raving about it, so it'd be a bit of a weird winner over something like Babylon, where even its biggest detractors think that the score is one of the best parts of it. Yeah, I'm predicting Babylon, and that is also my personal pick. I think it's pretty easily the best score out of this five. And as for what should have been nominated, The Batman. That was a great score. Nope as well, should have been up there. Honestly, you could sub either of those in for The Fabelmans. I mean, I know we all love John Williams, but can you hum a single track from that movie? I certainly can't. Original song. We have Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Natu Natu from RRR, and This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'd love for it to be Natu Natu, but I'm going with the conventional choice, which is Hold My Hand from Top Gun. I mean, Natu Natu has definitely won some of the precursors, it's not out of the question, but I'm too scared to predict it, so I'm going with the Top Gun song just to be safe. But Natu Natu should get it. And for should have been nominated, I liked the song that Billy Eichner sings at the end of Bros, the Love Is Not Love song, because I mean it was funny in the way it was kind of a parody of Garth Brooks, but it was also like a legitimately kind of touching summation of the movie's themes and ideas. So I would have thrown that in there somewhere. Cinematography. This is another interesting one. We've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. I was gonna go All Quiet on the Western Front, but Elvis won the American Society of Cinematographers Award last night, and that's giving me pause. Because Mandy Walker, if she won the Oscar, would be the first woman to ever win Best Cinematography. That would be pretty significant. So, yeah, I think I might go with Elvis for this one. My personal pick would probably be Tar out of this lineup, but Decision to Leave had the Best Cinematography of the year. It's criminal that is not nominated here. Production design. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, The Fabelmans. I'm going with Babylon. They love recreations of classic Hollywood. Mank and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are two of the most recent winners in this category, so there you go. And Babylon is also my personal choice. That would be a good winner. As for what should have been nominated, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like I said in my predictions video, it's really not enough people are talking about how that movie makes such good use of, kind of limited settings, the IRS office and the laundromat. So much of the action takes place in those two locations. And I just think that the way it kind of almost makes you forget that because of how much it makes use of the space. That's something that I think should be recognized more. Costume design. Babylon, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I think this is going to be Elvis probably pretty easily. Very flashy costumes. It's very much up the Academy's alley, plus it's won pretty much everywhere else. And, I have no problem with that. I wasn't the biggest fan of Elvis as a movie, but the costumes were good, so I can support this. But I think Jenny Egan should have been nominated for Glass Onion. Because contemporary costumes really need to be recognized more in this category. They kind of tend to go for the period ones or the fantastical ones because, they're more showy or whatever, but the costume design in the Knives Out movies is great, and it really deserves more recognition because you can tell so much about the characters in those movies just from what they're wearing. That's the mark of a good costume designer. Makeup and hairstyling. All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. Conventional wisdom says to predict Elvis here, but I'm wary of predicting that for too many wins, so I'm gonna go with an upset here and predict The Whale, because that's also very showy work. It's heavy on prosthetics. But I think the Batman should win. Like, if we're gonna give this to a movie for physically transforming an actor, look at Colin Farrell in the Batman. I rest my case. And as for what should have been nominated, I think I'd throw The Northman in there. Honestly, I think The Northman should be getting recognition in a few categories, but I haven't mentioned it up to now, so there we go. Visual effects. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Top Gun Maverick. Avatar. It's going to be Avatar. There is no question about this. And, deservedly so. The visuals in that movie are astonishing. No matter what you think of the movie, and I, like it just fine, but no matter what you think of it, the visuals are incredible. I do think Everything Ever All at Once should have been nominated, though, because that was like a 5-person team, and for them to pull that off on, what wasn't exactly a blockbuster budget, that's incredible. But yeah, Avatar's gonna win, and deservedly so. Film editing. The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Ever All at Once, Tar, Top Gun Maverick. I know I should predict Everything Ever All at Once here because it won Critics' Choice and BAFTA, and I really want to, but I'm hung up on the fact that you generally need to have a sound nomination to win Best Editing. Those two usually go hand in hand, even if the wins don't go to the same film. The editing winner is usually nominated for sound, so I'm going with Top Gun Maverick, even though a lot of people would call me crazy at this point for doing so. But I would like it to be Everything Ever All at Once. That is my pick. And shout out once again to Decision to Leave, which should have been nominated. God, that movie got so fucking shafted. It's unbelievable. And lastly, Best Sound. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, Top Gun Maverick. Again, I'm going with Top Gun here. I think if that movie wins anything, it's going to be Best Sound. And sure, whatever. I did not care for that movie particularly, but I have no problem with it winning sound. That's fine. You can give it that. But Nope should have been nominated. Honestly, if that was nominated, that would get my vote, but it's not nominated, so fine, Top Gun, whatever. So those are my predictions. I'm very excited to see how many of them are right, how many I got wrong. And yeah, I think it's looking like a pretty exciting Oscars this year, so we'll find out on Sunday.